looking at some other possible ways to do this money management?
Well, I should explain. We are there are 20 counties in the state that are under what we call the 1937 Act retirement. Which means they have their own retirement system as opposed to being in CalPERS. And we are the smallest of those 20 counties. And we have currently around $360 million. And because we're so small and because we want to be diversified in just about every segment of the market, sector of the market, we use mutual funds for almost all of our management of our portfolio. We have 2 bond managers, and we have 24 mutual funds. So we have mutual funds in small cap growth value, mid cap growth value, large cap growth value. We have 6 different managers. I'll refer to them probably as managers, but they're actual mutual funds. We have 6 in the international stock area and 2 in real estate. So we try to diversify and protect our assets by having a lot of different managers.
Tim, I've got so many questions I don't know where to begin. I guess one question would be on what is the cost of advisors, what kind of asset management fees they charge, particularly when you add the fees that the Mighty Chan charges on top of...
who charges? I missed that one.
Peter Chan, the Mighty Chan. That's what I call him. He's had the contract for so long. It's a sweetheart contract. It's never put out for bid. He works from a 30-year-old model. I don't know where to begin with him.
Do you want to begin with him?
Sure, let's do it.
Peter Chan's 30-year-old model is the Efficient Frontiers. You're probably familiar with that?
I'm well aware of it. It's a 30-year-old model, and that was a long time ago.
Okay. I just coincidentally was reading an article yesterday in a magazine that comes out it's an organization called CalPERS. It's a educational organization that we and all the other 1937 acts belong to. And one of the economists putting on the program, he was talking about risk classes as opposed, looking at asset allocation as risk class instead of an asset class, but that's kind of part of the overall theme of his presentation. And he starts out his section of the program with, "We are all familiar with the process of reviewing our fund's asset allocation to determine the optimized portfolio on the efficient frontier." Everyone, all 20 1937 Act counties, I believe, use the efficient frontier, even though it's 30 years old. So,
Tim, that's like saying to me, I learned the alphabet 56 years ago in kindergarten. We're going to take our first call. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, yes. I'm curious as to the aspect of the audits. You mentioned earlier that part of your job description included auditing, and I'm wondering, do you ever do internal county audits?
Tim?
I'm sorry, I only heard part of that.
The question was, do you ever do internal county audits of the system?
Our retirement system is audited every year by a local CPA, both the investments and every aspect. It's a full-blown audit of the retirement system.
And is that an audit based on performance or just transcription errors or something like that?
No, not a performance. The performance is monitored by Peter Chan, and his name was mentioned earlier. He's a consultant that we hired quite a number of years ago. He has been doing the consulting work for the county for many, many years. The board has a lot of confidence in him. One of the reasons that we like to use Peter is all the information he gives us is analytical. It's all numbers. He spends a lot of money buying various databases from Morningstar and from some of the larger organizations that provide this type of information. And when Peter presents information to us, it's, again, analytical. He's not being paid by anyone. He doesn't belong to any associations. He doesn't go to any of the trade shows that anybody else goes to. He gives us information strictly by the numbers.
Well, he's being paid by the county.
He's being paid by the retirement system,
right.
But not as a considerable amount when you compare it to what other. He charges us a flat dollar amount for each reviewing each manager. It's not based on our performance at all. There's no he doesn't receive a percentage of return or any of that. It's a dollar amount per portfolio that he reviews.
Do you have those numbers, or can you disclose?
What's that?
Do you have the numbers of what you pay him per manager or per fund?
It's $550 per quarter, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as the new position coming on, will that position take over any of the chores of managing money, or will it be an administrative function? Or
Well, I view it as an administration function. I know some of the larger other 1937 Act counties have what they refer to as investment officers, but they don't typically do a lot of in-house investing. All of the systems use external money managers. You go down the list. I was just looking at one, San Joaquin County, $2.1 billion. I choose them because I know that they just hired an investment manager this year. They have 26 managers, just like about the same number as we have. They're not going to bring all of that in-house, I'm sure.
Tim, going back to our caller's question, and again, it's one of my concerns as well for more transparency and accountability, because now in this semi-autonomous mode, the retirement board seems a little bit out of reach of not just the average citizen in Mendocino County, but also the average supervisor in Mendocino County. Has the retirement board ever thought about creating, say, a website where not just answering questions for retirees, et cetera, or for county employees' contributions to the plan, but things like portfolio performance, returns on investment?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of that?
We are. In fact, that's one of the reasons that we've decided that we went independent and are hiring a full-time administrator. That's going to be one of the first things that we do is get a website up and going. And we're developing, we've always had reports available, annual reports. The audit is available. That covers some of the investments to a certain extent. But I just actually finished a comprehensive annual financial report for the retirement system.
That's probably the best news I've heard this morning. I'm glad I showed up here at the station. Very supportive of that. I would be. We've had other calls coming in, and we'll cut to a call in a second, Tim. But my recommendation to you would be to package it in kind of a user-friendly form or a citizen-friendly form, where citizens of Mendocino County can easily understand things like portfolio performance and what we pay advisors and what the net costs are. I've seen, with all due respect to you, I've seen some of your presentations at the Board of Supervisors, and with all due respect to supervisors, I've literally seen their eyes glass over. So keeping it simple and stupid, as they say in the industry, I'm all for it. Caller, you're on the air. Caller?
Hello, yes.
Good morning.
A question with a follow-up, and that would be, does the retirement system, as I've seen in other counties in California, ever loan money for county departments to make ends meet and then have it paid back at a later time?
Tim?
Loan money to county departments?